This is the 21st season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing, continuing to wrap up the 2025 season with the recently concluded Bassmaster Elite Series EQ qualifier on Lake Okeechobee. And we decided to get the winner on today. We had Tristan McCormick on earlier this week. Later this week, we're trying to get a time. He said he spent a couple days at the beach there. Well-deserved time at the beach. But my buddy Austin Cranford will be on later this week. And we decided to get Caleb Hudson. I was trying to recall like a bigger comeback. Like there's some venues, right? There's some venues where like you get behind on the St. Lawrence River. Like you're 15 pounds behind the lead on the St. Lawrence River. I mean, I'm not for quitting, but that's one where you just kind of pack it up and head to the house. You're not making that up. But there are some like a Rayburn, a Gunnersville, and an Okeechobee where you can survive a day, come in with 5, and then freak show it and get right back into the mix. And that is what Caleb Hudson did to win the final EQ on Okeechobee. And then in the process, it was interesting. I was kind of reading some of his articles. A decent start to the EQ season, and then he wins, and he's like, holy crap, I'm on the Elite Series. We'll bring him in now. Is that kind of how it went, Caleb Hudson? Welcome to BTL.
What's up? I'm happy to be on. Yes, sir. That's exactly how it went. Had two decent finishes to the season to start off right off the rip, and then kind of saved my whole season right at the very end. Came in at the last second, swooped in.
All right, give us a little background. We're gonna dive into it because it's a pretty unique thing. You did something similar to what a lot of the guys in the top 10 did, but I think you also kind of bucked the trend and kind of found some of your old fish. You went old school scoping, I guess, a little bit. I guess we're to the point where the jerk bait is now kind of an old school scoping technique, that Patty Walters kind of made well known, and Justin Hamner back in the day. But it seems like no one wants to throw the jerk bait anymore. And then you mixed in some other stuff. But I mentioned this before I had you on. I said, I knew 10 years ago, I wrote an article, there'll be a day and time where it said, where did you fish, to all the Elite Series guys. And this was back, when Jordan Lee and Matt Lee and those guys were kind of making it. And there was, big Auburn stuff. But you look at this top 10 that made it, you look at you and collegiate fishing, undoubtedly, not just in the last 3 to 4 years, but in the past 8 to 10 years, the majority of anglers that are coming out on the top of this thing are collegiate anglers, and you're were collegiate angler, USC Union out there in the Carolinas.
Sir. Yep.
So, has this always been the plan? Go to college, make the Elite Series first year out?
No. So, especially not the first year, but no, really. So last year I was lucky enough to make the bracket with my fishing partner. We won the points on one of the trails and made the bracket. Didn't have the finish we wanted to there. I think we made the semifinal day, wound up losing, and I wasn't going to do anything prior to that event. And then, losing there kind of fueled the fire and kind of got the train rolling, kind of made me realize I do want to do this. And so I moved around, got a bunch of great local sponsors around the house and a couple of other ones. And then, jumped in the opens, made the EQs, and here we are now.
When you made the bracket, I know the angler who wins that bracket, you get the classic. I think you get the boat,
a boat, a truck,
entry into all of the opens. I mean, it's like open up Pandora's box, really. Here it is for a college kid. But like, what'd you get for that? Like a pat on the back and sorry, it's your last year. You got close. It's a great memory.
Pretty much. It was a great experience. And it came with, some cool swag and a trophy and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much, there's no second place in the bracket. It's first place. They roll out the red carpet for the winner. And then after that, you get a pat on the back and better luck next year.
Yeah. And so did you fish for them for 4 years then?
No, sir. Actually, so I did my freshman year at Emmanuel College, also, or in North Georgia. It's like pretty much
they're well-known
Lake Hartwell
fishing school.
Yes, sir. And then I actually took 2 years off and just went to tech school around here. And like I said, I didn't plan on fishing the elites. I just fished a bunch of local stuff, BFLs, fished a division of BFLs, stuff like that. And then I had a buddy of mine that went to USC Union and got me in touch with the coach, and I transferred, re-enrolled there, did a season there, and it's a great program they've got going over there. It's hands down. They roll out the red carpet for all of their anglers. Coach Cameron Kuhn, he's an awesome guy. He will do anything to make sure his anglers get there, and that's why I'm here now, 100%.
Just a strong NIL package.
Just hammering it right there. Yep.
I remember. Do you guys have like a boat yard, and like, do they kind of consider that like a pretty serious club sport at Union, where you guys have a little bit of funding from it, and that you're considered basically athletes at that school? I know some of those kind of smaller schools really treat the fishing team top notch.
They do. So I wasn't lucky enough to experience it, but they just finished. They actually have an old basketball gym, and you know how big a basketball gym is. They turned the whole thing into a boat storage. They
really
ripped up the floors, put a whole new flooring in. They've got drop-down extension cords for every single boat in the thing. I mean, it can hold like 30 boats. It's awesome. It's got banners everywhere. It's like the coolest boat shed you can imagine. Yeah, it's really cool.
And then any other Union guys on the Pro Circuit BPT Elite Series, or are you kind of the first one that they're hoping to try to kind of turn this thing into one of these kind of juggernaut schools?
I'm the first one to make it out of there. Yep. So it's a fairly newer program. Me and my buddy Tanner Haddon, he's the only other one that's tried to go any further since we graduated. But they've got a couple really strong younger anglers on the team now that I'm 100% certain will be where I'm at one day.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pulling it up here. It is on the official. I'll share the screen here. It's on the official university website right there. There it is.
Yep.
I don't know how to get rid of that bottom thing. Yeah, it is what it is. But all sorts of cool stuff on it. Roster, schedule, news, coaches. That's what you said, that Cameron Kuhn right there. He's the guy who's making it happen. That's
him. Yep. He may not look it, but he's pretty good at his job.
You're gonna get a call after this. Fairly is it a fairly this is for 24-25, but fairly big school? I know like some of those like Auburn and Dallas Baptist and stuff. I mean, you got guys that are knocking down the door, and high school All-Americans that are trying to get in there. Is that a lot of guys on the team?
There's a lot of guys on the team, but it is not a very big school at all. It's a fairly small school. It's actually it's a 2-year program school. This is quick. It's a 2-year school that after your first 2 years are complete, you're able to still stay on the Union team, but you actually transfer over to the University of South Carolina. So you'll attend those classes, but be fishing for a Union. So
okay, so that's why it's like alternate Gamecock. I'm assuming that's the logo
exactly.
on your AFCO hoodie right there.
Yep.
Very cool.
The Bantams, small little Gamecock.
Yeah. So you mentioned you went out and you fished local. You got a bunch of sponsors. How did I mean? Is that literally? Did you kind of grow up fishing in that area? Did you literally go knock door to door? Like, how did you? I mean that seems one thing that's easy to say, hard to do. I mean, you look at your jersey, you do seem to have a lot of kind of local, regional support, things like that. How did you go about kind of amassing that and getting people to kind of work with you to give you a chance to kind of get in this position and fish the opens this year?
So yeah, I mean, for example, my title sponsor actually, he has been sponsoring me and the high school team I was on years ago, and he continues to. He's still doing that as well.
You can plug him. I mean, you can talk it up. I'll pull the website up and everything for you here, Caleb. I mean, this is your chance.
Yeah, Newsom Electrical Construction. I mean, he is definitely my number one supporter. He's been with it for, I mean, we're probably getting close to 10 years now. He's been sponsoring me and a group of people, and last season he reached out and became my title sponsor.
Is that it right there?
That's them. That's them right there. They do a bunch of local, even some bigger jobs outside of local, wiring. I'm trying to just shops, big, hotels, stuff
Hobby
like that.
Lobbies, Aldi's, all sorts of stuff. All right,
well, big company. Cool. Yep.
Yeah. So if you need any electrical work, there you go.
Yep. And then I've got a couple of great other ones. I've got a paint company, Brush Strokes. I've got a roofing company, Hickson Roofing. And then those are my Gauge Construction Consulting. Those are my.
You have a lot of non-endemics, Caleb.
I do. And then I've got a couple bait sponsors as well, stuff like that. I got Spro. My biggest supporter is Greenfish Tackle. Yep. John Hare over there. He's been.
I'm pretty sure I met him in April. He was on the boat ramp. Is he obsessed with the little sashimi shad swimmers that he decks all out with the wire and the weights? Okay, yeah, that's him.
He paints them all up and everything.
Yeah. No, I met him at a boat ramp. Great dude.
Yeah. He's definitely my number one supporter. We had they threw me a surprise party as soon as I got home, and he was here giving a speech the whole time. He was super proud of me, and he's been a great supporter my entire career. I actually worked for him for like 3 years.
Did you make it out of that surprise party in one piece? We had one for Hallman, and we had to make sure when it hit midnight, one of the more reasonable ones in the group said we need to make sure no one falls in the pool.
Yeah. The surprise party wasn't quite like that, but I'm telling you, all the pictures was I thought I was going blind for a second there.
Yeah. No, Greenfish does a lot. Big Carolina, like a lot of specialty like buzzbait stuff, jigs, Carolina stuff. When I went there, I got they have a buzzbait that's got a orange blade. Have you ever seen their orange blade buzz? I got one just because like Oklahoma. The Okie, the orange kicker blade. I haven't even taken it out of the package yet. But I mean, at some point, like there's going to be some sort of like muddy post spawn deal where I'm going to break out that orange blade Greenfish and go to work. So, so did you fish? This was your first year fishing the opens.
Yes, sir.
Fished Division I, which you had one in your backyard, and then that one was kind of all up and down the entire East Coast. There was it to get experience? Was it, hey, I'm gonna go balls to the wall for 3 years on this? Like, what was the kind of game plan heading into the EQs or heading into the opens this year?
Yeah, no, I mean my original plan was, jump in one division of the EQs, maybe then the following year do two. Definitely never thought I'd actually make it out to the other side. In the beginning, it was kind of like, okay, I'll give it 2 or 3 years and we'll see what happens. But
why didn't you think you could 1 year? I mean, dude, you look at all these guys who come in and just dominate. Like what?
The guys that make it out of here are hammers. And I mean, I just didn't, you never know your own potential, I guess. But I mean, the guys that are fishing the opens and the guys that made it out are some really good anglers, obviously.
So you kind of had a feeling, I mean, you knew like that the EQs was going to be in your future then. So, I mean, as a young guy, first year out of college, did your sponsors help that, or that 10-5 I know I talked to several guys who were like, oh my gosh, I made the EQs. Now I've got 2 weeks and Bassmaster needs deposits for $10,500. We're going to New York. We're going to Alabama and we're going to Florida. I need 20K in the next 2 weeks to start making this thing happen.
Yeah, no, after I made the EQs, I was on a ramen noodle budget. I was I was having to save up a little bit, had to pull some out of savings, pay for gas and stuff like that, but still my never would have made it even to there without the sponsors. But yeah, it's a tough life. Everybody knows that. So
yeah, you got on a little bit of a roll, but those EQs were weird because it starts out with 100. The other guys don't get the points that are there for the Elite Series, but there were 80 guys by the time it got down to Okeechobee, and you were in a unique situation. You had a 34th place finish at Champlain, which is a wild in a 3-point series. Like you're 1 pound away from a top 15 and you're 1 pound away from a 60th. Then you go bust 27 pounds in 2 days at Wheeler to finish 29th, which weights were decent, but that Wheeler tournament, watching it and kind of following it, seemed like that was a really tricky deciding tournament, that middle one on Wheeler.
Yeah, Wheeler was definitely a curveball. I mean, I don't think the first day and a half of practice I caught more than 3 bass. And then day 3 of practice, I went up the river, found a couple little holes, and then I wound up figuring something out late day 1 of the tournament. And then I didn't have much day 1. It was like 12 pounds or something like that. And then day 2 of the tournament, I kind of just stuck it out in an area and caught a couple big ones. And that's what saved me there. So
what place were you in heading into Okeechobee?
I was in 20th. And they said, Bassmaster put a thing out and said basically 22nd place was the last spot that had any chance. So I was right there on the bubble, on even going or not. But
you were on the bubble of even like there was a part of you that was like, hey, it's cold front, iguanas are going to be falling from the trees.
Yeah,
Florida, not going to mess with that, even though it's what, an 8-hour drive for you.
Yeah, I think it was right at a little over 9. I mean, I say that I would have gone either way. But I would not have felt like I needed I didn't really ever feel like I had a shot still. Let me just say that. So
do you think that in hindsight worked out for you? Like no nerves, no pressure, no BTL calling you saying, hey, you want to come on and talk about how if you catch him for the next 2 days, your life changes?
It definitely did. And it's one of them things I've been thinking back on. Like if I would have caught, let's just say day 1 and day 2 would have flipped. If I would have caught the 25 pounds day 1 and the 10 pounds day 2, it would have just totally wrecked me on the inside. I would have been so spun out, wouldn't have known what to do, because day 1 I caught 7 bass all day. I had 10.5 pounds, just a bad day. And then day 2, in practice, I caught a 7-pounder in one stretch. And I was like, whatever, it's one lucky fish. And I never even fished at day 1. So day 2, I was like, I'll just start here. And like 20 minutes in fishing, I caught another 7-pounder. And I was like, okay, this is not that bad of a spot. And it was the only one I caught there that day. Wound up leaving and going to another stretch and busting the rest of my bag. But yeah, it was like without if I would have caught a lot in that other area day 1, I never would have caught that 7-pounder. Never would have had that big bag day 2. So
you mentioned the big bag on day 2, so you're in 25th after day 1. And then day 2, you come in with 25.7. Is that the biggest bag you've ever weighed in for a 5-fish limit?
I think so. Yeah, definitely, especially by myself. Yeah.
Walk me through that day as it was happening, because I would imagine that had to be pretty special.
Oh, it was insane. So yeah, I mean, I started on one stretch, and it was one bend in the river channel, like just down from the lake, or just down from Blastoff. And I sit down, and there's just this blob floating. And
rim canal.
We're in the rim canal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. And as I'm sitting there, I see something like just floating like 15 feet in front of the boat, 10 foot down.
Like where
Like
guys drive, like when you're driving to the rim
Yeah.
canal to take the cut to head out into the lake, like it's just in the middle, kind of suspended. It's not like on a riprap deal. It's not like on a piling, on anything.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the rim canal is not very wide. It's, I mean, you can just about cast across it, and I'm just going down the dead center of it, and I just see something just floating there right in front of me, and I'm like, what the heck? It's the first 20 minutes of the day. I'll pitch at it. It's probably a clown knife fish or something, and I pitch at it, and it just kind of is penduluming over his face, and you had to be right up on him, and it just kind of looks up and gets right up under it, and I mean, I'm probably like 3 feet from the head of my trolling motor at this point, and it just locks up on it. And the first thing that goes through my mind is catfish or clown knife fish. I never thought it was a bass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm almost playing with it, and it comes straight up and jumps.
Oh.
And my heart sank. I didn't know. I blacked out. Anyways, I wind up getting it, and I probably toted that fish around till about 11:30. And I saw my buddy Tanner in the river. He drove past me, and I was like, what do you got? And he was like, I got 2 small ones. And I was like, I've only got one. I've had 1 bite, and it's a 7-pounder. I was like, I'm going to have 1 fish today for 7 pounds. I'm going to be that guy. And I kept going. And I finally got to what wound up being my best little stretch, and I just didn't know it yet. And I caught one, I think it was like a 4.5 pounder. I caught 4.5 pounder by itself. And then in 5 casts, I caught 3 more. It was like a 3.5, a 5, and another 4.5 or something like that. And I was just like, wow. So I didn't even make it. I caught my number 5. I had like 24. I think my scale said I had 24 even. And I was like, okay, this is it. I'm not making any more casts here. And because I caught the last 2 out of a brush pile, and there were some more, and I wasn't going to sit there and pick them off. And so wound up leaving that spot, running back, and started practicing just down the river again. And wound up catching another 4.5, like right in front of the trolling motor. I mean, it was mud in that river, in that rim canal. So you could literally, I was throwing a 1/16 bait, and it was almost like I was crappie fishing. I was sitting there just dropping it in the head, and you kind of just hold your rod, and they had no idea you were there. I mean, that last one I caught that day, I don't think I ever reeled on it. It was like set the hook, take him to the back, scooped him. It was a lot of fun. It was the most unique type of fishing I've ever done.
What made you just stay in that rim canal when, I mean, it's no secret that J&S would play. We saw what Polinick and the guys did in the Elite Series there. Like, do you think that all of that pressure and the notoriety from the tournaments over the last couple years in those areas kind of freed up, and a lot of people just drove right over the winning fish on their way to greener pastures?
Yeah, definitely. So day 1 of practice, it was, everybody that knows, it was as windy as it could be. It was windy, cold front came through. Day 2 and 3 of practice. So day 1, I practiced on the lake. Wound up leaving halfway through because I was like, why am I out here? I'm not going to be able to fish here the rest of the week. So day 2, I fished the north end of all the canals. I fished the J&S, I fished the Kissimmee and all that. And I think I caught like 3 or 4 bass that day. Caught some nice ones, but, you know, there was a lot of boats in that area. I don't like being around a lot of boats. And so day 3 of practice, I fished nothing but the rim canal. And I wound up finding that winning stretch, like the last 2 hours of practice. I was just riding down the rim canal, and basically a good average is, let's just say the whole rim canal is 12 foot. And I'm driving down, and I notice it just comes straight up, and it tops out at like 8 foot. It's like 8 foot for 100 yards. And then it drops off to like 18 foot for like 100 yards.
So that's what made you stop there.
Yep. And I kind of I marked it, kept on going, came back a little bit later. And as soon as I sat down, as soon as it came up, I noticed something running straight at me. And I'm like, that's got to be a bass. Flipped the jerkbait at it, popped it like one time, 4.5 pounder. I was like, okay. Kept going, same deal, caught a 5 pounder.
Okay.
Kept going, same deal, caught a 3 pounder. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm like, that's enough. And yeah, so that's how I found that.
So you were running 2D on your through hole transducer and keeping an eye on your electronics and notice that it jumped up instead of just booking it.
Yep.
That's big, dude. Like that's a veteran move. How old are you?
23.
Yeah, that is a veteran. I mean, that is like that's as old school as it gets, finding bottom composition changes with the through hole, which kind of goes back to what you have done for the last couple of years as a full-time job in the industry. So I mean, do you feel like if you weren't as dialed in with what you do and talk about what you do, then you would have I bet you wouldn't have even noticed that.
No, I spend a lot of time looking at graphs every day. So yeah, I mean, that definitely probably had something to do with it. You know, I do a lot of stuff like that every single day, looking at stuff in the yard.
I mean, you can talk about it. You can say the name of it. You could pump it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sure. Well, little backstory. So me and my buddy Tanner own a electronics store in Appling, Georgia, right here at Clarksville, and we put electronics on. I mean, like today, we do all types of stuff. I'm putting a night vision camera on a center console today. So I mean, we do all types of stuff like that. So I spend a lot of time tweaking units, looking at little things, thinking about stuff like that, the little things that matter. And yeah, so you know, you got to have everything laid out to have all that success. I feel like nowadays, everybody knows that, whether it's 2D, side scan, forward facing, anything like that. It's paying attention to all the little details that add up.
What was your mentality going into the final day? Did you think I'm going to blow this thing away, or dear God, I hope I catch 5?
Yeah.
You've had a little experience with cameras in your boat before with the bracket. Obviously you kind of knew what you were fishing for. You've been close to the classic, so that had to be a little bit of a familiar feeling. But I mean, I was looking at that list, and I'm looking at the guys at the top, and I'm like, well, my God, he only caught 4 today. Or, you know, that guy only caught 5 or 6. Or, you know, these fish are beat up. Like what was the vibe heading into the final day with the Bassmaster Classic, the first place money check, and the Bassmaster Elite Series all on? Like you had the Elite Series wrapped up by that point, but I mean, you still had, I mean, there was what, 60 grand and a classic spot on the line.
Yeah, it was. My mentality for the whole day was don't blow it. Don't be the guy that blows it. And
I'm trying to be like this like mental Iron Man here, and here you are going, I didn't think I have a chance. I almost didn't go to it. My only goal was not to blow it. Like I'm looking.
I'm trying to be humble here. I mean, I'm as real as it comes. I mean, I was like, just don't be.
I love it.
Don't be the guy that, you know, has all this stuff and then throws it away.
Dude, Caleb, I'm 41. I'm over here, and I was telling Charlie Hartley yesterday how I'm considered a sports psychologist for the 4 opens in Division II next year because of some of the stuff that goes through my head on it. And here you are, Elite Series Classic with the EQs in it, and you're like, yeah, dude, I was just trying not to screw the pooch.
I was trying not to blow it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I went out day 1 and I was just like, I've got to catch something big, but I don't have to blow it away. I was like, I just need to be. I did the math. I needed to be like top 5 to still make the Elite Series. I was like, if I catch 5, regardless of size, I'm good. And actually, yeah, that one, Aaron, right now, I think that was my first one that day. I caught that one pretty early, and that one right there. I mean, I was pretty nervous, obviously, before that one. After I got that one in, I was like, okay, we're good. And then I went to that next stretch, and I caught them 2 more. I caught that 5 and that 1 over 3, and I thought they were going to be in trouble. And they were not. They were not in trouble. It went downhill from there, and I really had to go slow down in a couple brush piles that I knew had some fish in them, and caught those last 2 keepers for the day. But man, I'll tell you, Okeechobee has more big fish than anywhere I've ever seen. That place is unreal. I bet you, no exaggeration, on a good day, the pattern I was running when they're biting, not a cold front had come through, 35 pounds would have been nothing. I mean, realistically, they were in there heavily.
Was that brush pile that you ran to? Is that the one that you saved fish out of? before that you
Yep.
said, hey, there was some in there. I don't need to upgrade a pound and burn a 5-pounder.
Yes. Yep. So
Oh,
it wound up.
that's a slick move.
Yep. Wound up
So
paying
you
off.
kind of knew you had that in your back pocket throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I didn't rush up to him. I kind of just took my time, and made my way up to. I fished my way up to him. Basically, they were at the very end of my good stretch, and they were kind of in a little. The rim canal made a bend, and it kind of turned into almost like a pocket where the water, I guess you could say, like was slack right there because there was a lot of current this week, and there was 5 or 6 in each of those. And the first time I threw in there, I had a giant followed out, threw in there again, had another decent one followed out, threw in there again, and it looks like this little brim is behind it, and I almost reeled it away from it. And I was like, I'll see what happens. And he winds up eating it, and it's like a pound and 2 ouncer. And I'm like, I've never been so happy in my entire life to catch a 1-pounder. And I threw him in the box. Those fish left, tried dragging it out. Those fish left, and rolled over to the next one. Same deal. Threw in there, giant one falls it out. Threw in there again, giant one falls it out. Threw in there again, caught that one almost 2-pounder. And those were the 2 most important fish of the day: a 2-pounder and a 1-pounder.
Or take a break before we get to the raising of the trophy and stuff. But one thing that I noticed watching these highlights, I'm going to pull this up here, is it's no secret, jig head minnow. You're talking about hook to land ratio. I noticed on everything, once you get that fish close to the boat, one of the things I noticed that you do is you bury your rod tip. Like when that fish is within 8 to 10 feet of the boat, your rod tip never goes above your waist.
Yeah, those fish are probably the hardest fighting fish. They're the hardest fighting largemouth I've ever seen in my entire life. They would, you can see them jumping around like crazy. They would not stop. And every time you set the hook, excuse me, every time you'd set the hook, you would not know if you had a bass or what you had, because they would just immediately start thrashing. It felt like you were hooked up on a catfish every time.
What all did you catch? Did you catch any clowns in that rim canal? I didn't know.
So, in the first, right after live went off, I wound up catching a giant clown knife fish.
I didn't even know
right after
they
live
were that prevalent in Okeechobee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was my buddy caught one in practice, and then I caught one 30 minutes before weigh-in, and it was huge. I set the hook, and they fight similar to a bass. You could imagine they look like a bass, and I got them all the way up right next to the boat, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." My cameraman was like, "Oh, dude, I thought you had a giant." And yeah, it was right there at the end of the day. I thought it was going to be, a giant moment, and it wound up just being a giant clown knife fish. And then,
what else is in there? Like, did you catch? You caught cats, I'm assuming. Tilapia, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I caught 2 catfish, and then that clown knife fish. But I saw that place is just full of everything you'd least expect. Day one of practice, I saw mullet jumping in the cattails. I'm in freshwater, and I see mullet jumping around. That's got to confuse you. And then I saw plecos. I saw
armored catfish.
Armored catfish floating on the surface. I got those in my fish tank. Like, what is that doing? What is that doing in Lake Okeechobee? So
yeah. That's wild. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the baits. We're going to dive into the winning moment. We're talking with Elite Series rookie, winner of the last EQ 2026 Elite Series qualifier, Caleb Hudson out of the Carolinas, joins a long list of Carolina guys who have had a lot of success. You go back, the Thrifts, the Ashleys, the Montgomerys, the Cherries. You can go back, Marty Stone. Dude, if you go that kind of region, it's an underappreciated hotbed for high level talent. Obviously the Patrick Walters and Shane LaHughes and Branding. You could go on and on out of guys who kind of cut their teeth in that neck of the woods. So Caleb Hudson on BTL. We'll be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
Before there were hashtags, there were handshakes and shared stories. They gave us confidence to make our first cast, to chase our dreams. They taught us to fish, and in the process, taught us about life. They taught us that success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about lifting others up. The future isn't just about selling tackle. It's about 3 simple words. Let's go fishing. Here's to the original influencers.
At Beatdown Outdoors, we know you depend on your gear to hold up in any condition. We built for that. We test for that. In fact, we pride ourselves in that. Because we know when the time comes to test your gear, you aren't going to take it easy, so we won't. We build premium, made-in-the-USA products that you can rely on in the moments when your equipment should be the last thing on your mind.
All right, welcome back, BTL on a Wednesday with Caleb Hudson. Got the boat hooked up. Zeke's going to get to the house in any second. We're going to go hit up a couple new lakes for episode 3 of CTL Crappie Talk Live. Like I said, does not impact any of the content that you have come to know and love. 99% of the people love it. The 1% of the people that are still not a fans of it, let me know. It's weird how that works, isn't it? You didn't catch him the right way. You're too young. Should have been out in the lake. Should have been caught one flipping. It's just crazy. And then you actually get into the nitty gritty and you find the little details and you're like, hey, like you don't accidentally win at this level. You have to have a skill set. You have to have like knowledge. You have to be able to see things, to interpret things. And Caleb did that better than anybody last week at Okeechobee. You good?
I'm good.
It's not a puppy, is it? Because if is that a human or a puppy?
It's like a puppy. It's a human. It's one of my what I would call one of my close sponsors. He's trying to get into my shop right now, and he's a little confused, but he'll figure it out.
You can go let him in the shop.
I'll be right back then.
Okay.
He's gonna like this.
Taking care of business, already having sponsors visit him in his home studio, which he actually has a fairly nice setup. But I mentioned this before, and
I'm on a podcast.
Once Caleb gets back, we'll talk about the baits that he used for it. But I think 7 of the top 10 guys used some form of a jig head minnow, which you did. Let's dive into the baits, whatever you want to expose, talk about, show. We're all here for, Caleb.
All right. Yeah. I had a 1-2 punch the first couple days, just because the wind and stuff like that. But there's no secrets anymore, so I really don't mind at all.
Okay.
With stuff and everything. So the first day, especially, I think I caught 3 of the ones the first day, and I caught 1 of the ones the second day on this setup right here. It's an arc rod. It's a little bit shorter. I'm a shorter guy. I like a 6'9", a 6'10" rod.
Okay. That's old
school.
A 6'9" jerkbait rod.
Yeah. I can't really. I wind up knocking chips out of my fiberglass and stuff like that with anything over that, and so I kind of have to dial it down a little bit. It's a little risky with the big ones, but yeah. So I kind of have no choice. But this is a Spro McDart, and I do believe I threw a mega bass and I threw a stun in practice.
Yeah.
I caught a couple. I do believe this was the play for the tournament, though. It's just like I would compare it to a very erratic 110, mega bass 110. And it looks pretty much the same. It's the same exact size, same bill. I know it's hard to get a mega bass 110 out of a lot of guys' heads, including mine. But this one right here is it's the same thing, but more erratic.
Yeah, and we had Mike on who actually designed it. He talked about it. He was on a couple months ago. Great show. You can go back and he talks about how he designed it, but it was that erratic. And I'm assuming that you were popping it pretty hard if you were talking about how you're taking chips out of your paint sometimes with the
I had
rod,
to,
but I mean, you're getting it down to it, and then it's not a feeding bite like the minnow. You're getting the reaction bite with it.
Yeah, and everybody that knows just about everything Spro makes is loud also.
Yeah.
And with that muddy water and just I would call those fish like semi-aggressive. They were aggressive. The ones that wanted to bite were aggressive. So you could kind of take a strong approach to those. And so yeah, you just rip it real hard and give it a long pause. And every single one of the fish I caught you'd rip it, they'd get behind it, and then you just let it sit there. And it was almost like if you've ever caught crappie on a jerk bait, it's like the same thing. They just kind of move up to it, and then next thing you know, they take off with it. And it was the same deal with that. And I think that was definitely the biggest key was moving to that jerk bait, just to get those bites. I don't think they would have been able to find
a little bit higher than the traditional jerk baits too. So I know like the McStick 110, when you get into that 3 to 5 foot range, is like the go-to scopers jerk bait. Like over brush, it's a little bit bulkier. It stays up a little more, allows you to work it without getting it down there. Does the dart do the same thing? Does it stay in that 3 to 6, or does it actually get down a little bit deeper?
That one's in the 3 to 6 range.
Okay.
It was topping out about 4.5. Those fish were floating really high. So like I had it on 15-pound line, and most of the time I was working my rod tip, next to me or straight up. And a lot of times I'd burn it down to them, and then I'd give it one big snatch, and it'd bring it straight up, and then you could start working it again. And it never fouled out either. That's the biggest thing with that jerk bait.
Did you keep those 5 black Gamakatsus on there, or did you change out?
They come with some stout hooks.
Yeah.
I don't know they're some sort of nano coat Gamakatsu. They're not G finesse or nothing, but
okay,
they're pretty stout. Yeah, I just left those on there.
So straight out of the pack, tie it on, start catching.
Yep. Don't gotta change them out. Yep.
There you go. All right. Let's get to the mover and shaking stuff then.
Yeah, the cream of the crop nowadays.
Yeah.
This was I tried a couple different rods. This was definitely the best rod for the lighter setup, which was what I caught 80% of them on. It was a 1/16 jig head, 3/0 hook, with a 5-inch Sakamata. And then the color, they would not bite white. They would not bite a white jerk bait. They would not bite white Sakamatas. They would not bite anything that was white. I don't know what the deal was with that. They wanted something natural. So I went with the electric shad color. It's pretty much the only thing they could really find. It was just dark enough, had just enough flash to it, but they didn't really shy away from it. So, and then the rod is a 7.3 medium light action arc rod. And
no loop knot.
No. This is a San Diego jam knot. That's pretty much the only knot I tie. I don't go crazy with it. I don't know why. I just don't really like the loop knot.
Okay. And you're threading that right through the meat of the nose, like a red-blooded American does. You're not doing the thing with the nose hook that all the guys are doing now.
Yeah. So the only issue is I'll do that occasionally, but with the 1/16 and like an 1/8 ounce on the smaller baits, it likes to roll a lot, or like just helicopter. Yep. So I don't like to do that on the lighter baits, but there's a time and a place for everything, and this seemed to just be the best for this technique.
And what was you said it? I wasn't listening. What was the
leader?
The knot? The leader. How much? What pound test on your leader?
I threw 12-pound test.
Okay.
Fluorocarbon, and then the braid was 8-pound Spro braid. It was 8-pound, and I
haven't tried.
It's called X8. It's impressed me so far. So I've been throwing it last probably 18 months now.
Okay.
And I only tried it because I think when I was like a senior in high school, I showed up to some event and they gave me a little goodie bag, and it had like a Revo rocket and like a spool of that Spro braid. And I still have that same Spro braid on that reel. It has lasted this long. It's like the longest lasting braid of all time. So I ordered a whole bunch of it, and it's really good stuff. It's super thin, and it's not like you've got your Power Pro and stuff like that. It's all like rope almost.
Mhm.
This is it's almost like a nylon feel to
Okay.
it. Yeah, so it's real good for like 1/16 ounce baits and stuff like that. You don't have all that weight from your line. You
Mhm.
can't really feel and stuff like that. This is it's almost like a fluorocarbon. It's like stiff like that. So,
Okay. And then you
Yep.
said a 7.3 rod, which
mhm,
traditionally is a little bit longer than a lot of the minerers like to chuck.
mhm. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm backwards. I like a
Short
let's
jerkbait
just
rod and a
I
long
like a
minnow
short
rod.
jerkbait rod and a long minnow rod. I mean, all my spinning rods. I think the shortest spinning rod I own is like 7.1.
Okay.
I don't really prefer a shorter spinning rod. I don't know why that is. I just feel like I lose a lot of sensitivity not having that longer, and it's probably just something I do, not holding my rod tip as high or something like that. But I like a 7.1 to like a 7.4 spinning
Okay.
rod.
And then that was the minnow, and that was the jerkbait, and that was what you caught him on.
Yep, that's simple as that.
I like it. So how many rods you have on the front deck then? Like 4?
I think I had a lot. So I had a lot of variations. So I think I had 9 rods. Yep.
That's
I had
not
some
that many.
backups in there also.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's not that many.
hmm
What was it like lifting the trophy up, man?
I couldn't tell you. I think I blacked out. No, it was insane. I've always wanted to be the guy up on stage holding the trophy. I've always wanted to be on the other side of the crowd, and I never thought it would ever happen in such a big prestigious event like this. So when I lifted it, it was like just the most insane, surreal moment. I did not even know what to think. I, it was incredible. It was a great feeling. It was probably top 5 best moments of my life. It was, if not the best moment of my life. It was crazy. I'll tell you that. It was a feeling like none other. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, you seem a little bit in shock there. So then they hand you the trophy. Yeah. You're 23. Yep. They hand you the trophy. You had 10 pounds on the first day, and 48 hours later, they're handing you the trophy. You're on the Elite Series. You're in the Bassmaster Classic. You won $50K, and then you got Russ Lane spraying you with champagne.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was a weird feeling, but it was. I mean, after day 1, me and my buddies were already talking about what we were going to do next year. We were already talking about where we were going to room and stuff like that. And so after day 2, it was like, oh gosh, it was like, this is it could happen. Mm-hmm. So,
thoughts on the Classic?
So far, I know I've got to go get fitted for a sports coat. That's about all I know.
Night of Champions. Yeah. So it used to be a black tie affair. It used to be like guys would rent tuxes, they'd be in the 3-piece suits. Then it kind of changed to like kind of where you are regionally. So it'd be like a little bit more Mardi Gras flair if it was down there. Obviously in Texas, Fort Worth, a lot of cowboy hats, a lot of the pressed jeans and stuff. Personally, with nothing, I like a little bit of the overdress for that Night of Champions.
You got to go all out. I mean, it's So it's hopefully not a once in a lifetime experience, but it's definitely
you got a girl,
I'm excited
wife,
to get.
You taking someone with you?
I think I'm going to take my dad. I think my dad would enjoy that.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yep.
Fishing wise, outside of the fashion statement, it's got to fit your style, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
You can go pre-practice. You can go live down there for a month.
Yeah, I plan to go. I'm probably going to go sometime around sometime around Christmas break, right before the cutoff, and spend a few days down there. I mean, I know nothing about that place pretty much, but I know it's a river. I know it's got a bunch of different species that swim in there, and I like river fishing, and I just got to kind of make it work my own way, I guess, somehow. Got to compare it to what I do know, and spend all the time I can out there, I guess, really, because it's something everybody wants, and I'm going to try my best to make that tournament happen.
Elite Series 50-50 schedule. I'm sure back when the coin toss went down, it really never crossed your mind how important that would be. Have you had, I mean, I know it's only been a couple days, dude, but you're talking Gunnersville, Martin, Tom Bigby, Arkansas River, Lake Murray, Santee Cooper, Pascatank River. I mean, like, this is crazy for a dude from where you're from. We got Murray, Santee, the Pascatank, and I'll even throw Lake Martin in there. Like, how does the coin toss affect it? What are your thoughts on the 50-50 split? I know you mentioned what you do for a living. Are we like having to put a 360 on now and figure that thing out? Or walk me through your mentality as a 23-year-old now, knowing you're headed to Lake Gunnersville at the end of January without a live scope.
Yeah, that's definitely where all my stress is coming from nowadays, is figuring out, where, the next turn of my business is going to take with the whole technological craze, where it's going to take fishing. My opinion is going to be different than everyone else's. I don't see the big deal with banning it. I don't see the big deal with any of it, really. I mean, it's fishing. There's advancements to it. This is where we are now, and I'm pro live scope, of course. That's very obvious.
They make your livelihood installing electronics.
Exactly. And so that's I have somebody walk in every other day and they're like, well, if I buy this, can they take it away from me? And I'm like, no, they're not going to take it away from you. You're good.
My question more, Caleb, is like, can you punch them up? Can you go up there and get grimy in a couple feet of water and put a 20 rack in the boat?
I mean, I definitely know how to. We'll just have to see if I can. I was talking the other day. I have not fished I've fished without live scope while it was on my boat. I've not been somewhere since live scope has come out and not had it on my boat. So it's going to be a learning curve. I plan to go out to,
since you were
right
16.
I remember when I was going it was the night before the national championship on Lake Murray, like when I was a freshman in college, and I put my first ever active target one on my 9-inch live, like the night before. Like it had just come in and I was like, oh, this, whatever. And so I've had it from the very beginning. And
are you a AT2 guy or a scope guy?
I ran AT2 all the way up until January of this year, and then I switched over to Garmin. So they're both pretty good. I went with the whole reason I went with the Garmin is I got the 9219 Garmin. So I've got the big boy on the front of my boat. Not that that's going to do me much good to have next year, but it looks cool at least. That was the whole reason I switched, just to have that big graph, and that thing shoots in 4K. I mean, it's unreal. So that unit has definitely played into some sort of success I've had.
Do you know anyone on the Elite Series? Are you buddies with anyone in the EQs who also made it? Like, do you know who you're rolling with next year already? Like, was there a dude who was like, hey, you're with us now, buddy?
Yeah. I don't know who I'm going to room with, but I've got some really good buddies on the Elite Series already. I've got Tyler Williams that we actually met like 2 or 3 years ago when I was still working for Greenfish. And then
doesn't he have that jig? Is his jig a greenfish, or at one point it was, or it is, or something? He's got that magic jig that if a fish gets within 10 feet of it, it eats it.
Yeah, it's got like a magnet on it. It pulls them in. Yeah.
What's the ugliest, gaudiest, bulkiest trailer ever? That Yamamoto thing where it's just like when it falls.
Yeah, that sucker. It looks like an incoming headache for any bass. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So you got Tyler.
Yeah, I got Tyler, one of my really good buddies. I've known him we grew up fishing high school together. It's Paul Marks.
Okay. He's got the dub under his belt. He knows what's going on.
Yep. He's a veteran at this point. And I've got Brian New. I've known him for a few years, also through Greenfish. So, made a lot of connections.
I feel like you got Paul Marks, the voice of reason, and then Brian New. Wild card.
I've got one side of each of fishing.
Man, between those three though, that just the skill level and experience and talent level. I mean, dude, like, you know, just an afternoon with Brian New has to be insane. Like what just the little nuances and what he's done. I mean, I know he's a tackle junkie.
Yeah. He's probably the most technical person I know. I mean, he's one of those guys. He'll come out and he'll fish a local event with me, and the whole time I'm fishing, he's like, "Why do you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just rigged a fluke on an EWG. I don't." And he's like, "Well, why'd you rig it that way?" I'm like, "I don't know. I did it like blind. I don't know." And he's like, "Oh, okay." Like he's so detailed. I mean, he'll sit there and put one on, he'll flip it out there and it won't swim right. He's like, "Oh, that ain't the one." He'll throw it away and put another one on there. And I mean, he's very detailed. He's a tackle junkie, like you said. He's a hoarder, is what he is. Yeah. You walk into his shop and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know where the door's at." Yeah.
Title sponsorship wise, a lot of the companies that supported you this past year, it's like you mentioned 3 or 4 non-endemics. Are they still going to be a part of this journey?
I hope so. I haven't spoken to any of them yet. Of course I've congratulated them, but I haven't made it as far to talking about next year. I mean, I came straight back home and went back to my 9 to 5. So I haven't had much time to talk about next year, really, sponsorship wise. I haven't had anyone reach out. I haven't had time to reach out to anyone either, though. So that's kind of still in the air. I hope that I get plenty next year because I know I'm going to need it. But I'm pretty sure
2.5 months away, man. Like it's less than 3 months. Like so you make it, you're in, it's official. I'm just curious, like what has Bass done? We're on a Wednesday now. Like, are there emails? Has anyone called? Or is it, I mean, like, is there direction that they give you to be like, hey, like you have to have wraps approved, jerseys approved, your whatever the $10,000 your entry fee in, like captain's licenses, boats, it's like all of this stuff. Like, is there like a manual they give you, or right now is it just kind of, I made it, I hope I figured this stuff out in time?
Yeah, right now I haven't really gotten any, instructions on, what's coming next. But I mean, I don't even think I made it home before I had 4 emails sitting there from Bassmaster, and it was just kind of saying, here's your next move, sign here, here's some basic rules, and we'll be in touch. And that's pretty much it. Now I have had, John Cruz has been messaging me. He's been helping me out a lot. He's been kind of putting me on the right path.
Yeah, that's good.
Getting me in touch with, all the other anglers and stuff like that. So he's been helping out a lot. And of course, my buddy Paul, I've been talking to him about, kind of what goes on and, basics. So
yeah. He seems about as level-headed as they come.
Very, yep. Chill guy.
About that braid. Was it the Finesse Braid 8X in 8-pound test?
Yep. That's it.
Okay. This is handy. So on the Spro website, it is currently in stock and normally $39.99. It's now $12 a spool.
Oh gosh.
So there you go.
That's too good for me to pass up. I think.
Yeah, you were throwing the lime green in the 8-pound.
Yep, that's it.
Finesse Braid 8X lime green. You save 70% on that. Comes in 150 meters, which translates to 164 yards. So there you go. That's just on spro.com. So anything else you want to get in here before I let you go? It's been this person has asked us 3 times. Who did you list as your favorite Team Lip Rippin? Ask Caleb who he listed as his favorite bass angler a few years back.
That is I'm not gonna let him just hide behind that username. That is actually that's Cameron Kuhn. That's the coach of USC Union right there.
Oh, okay.
And I put at the bracket, I didn't take it as a joke, but they or not at the bracket. Right after the bracket, I went to that Logan Parks
the event, insane tournament,
the insane event, and I put as a joke, they wanted to know your favorite angler, and
Mhm.
I put Randy Blockett.
Oh,
So, so yeah. I was honored the other day when I got on YouTube and saw that I made it big time when I saw how bad I rage baited him at Okeechobee.
oh,
So,
dude, he averaged 3 videos a day. He was doing 7 a day.
yeah, he was pumping them out. So yeah, I took pride in that. Yeah,
You'd spend a day in the boat with him, wouldn't you?
of course.
Yeah, I'd hop in the boat with him and fish, even though he
Maybe
drives me
I'd
absolutely
I might
nuts and has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. I would love
Yeah.
to spend the day in the boat with him. I've told that.
I'd
So when I
probably
was
yeah
12 or 13, I was at the
Mhm.
Bassmaster Classic, and I got in an elevator with Randy, and he's got the log hair. I mean, Randy's the dude who does all the crazy stuff, runs up the rivers he's not supposed to. Young, you know, he had the jersey buttoned down to the, 3 buttons down on the chest. Night before the 1998 Classic, that guy stood outside of an elevator. He had his tackle bag with him because back then you could only have like one tackle bag, had a pair of scissors in it. I said, Mr. Blockett, I bought some jigs at the expo, and I know you're a big jig guy. And he sat there in the lobby of like the 3rd floor of the hotel we were staying at, trimmed all these jigs for me, pulled the strands out, all that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, like
Really
that sticks in a kid's head. Now, do I
Yeah,
think he has completely lost his mind and is doing whatever it takes, regardless of the health of the industry and what he's doing just to get clicks and rage bait? Absolutely. But that moment from 20 years ago or 30 years ago, holy cow, 28 years ago, good God, still fresh in my mind.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't think you'd find too many guys nowadays that would take their time to do that.
I still love how you found the fish on a through hull 2D rolling, keeping your eyes on it. Like everyone's gonna overlook that part.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's been on a boat for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the number one thing. I think I even said it on live. It was like they can say what they want, but they can't ban 2D. So, I mean, those fish would have been a little bit harder to catch, but they were there. And the way you find them isn't just like everybody thinks, oh, you just pull up and drop a trolling motor and go to catching. You still got to know that rim canal's, I don't know exactly. It's over 20 miles long.
It's huge. It's not. It's hard. It's hard to explain to people who haven't done it, who haven't seen it. Like I saw all the comments. I'll just get on my soapbox here. You can either disagree, or you can stay completely neutral and just log off. But until you've been in JNS, until you've been in that rim canal, like I spent 3 days or 2.5 days of practice in the last open scoping in JNS. So frustrated because the pockets of bass and where they were sitting and how long it is and the tilapia that are in there and the gar and the drum, mainly the tilapia and the bait that's in there. It is absolutely insane to watch what Robert G did with the spoon, to watch how Cranford caught him, to watch how those guys caught him, knowing what it was in a cold front where they weren't even aggressive, to come in with 5. Like it took an insane amount of skill to do what you did in that rim canal. Yeah, you weren't out in a historic area punching a cricket, wrestling them out there, but you're talking 20 miles of stuff that looks exactly the same. You might have a little riprap, you might have a dock here, you might have a ramp, you might have a little cutout that goes out into the lake. But I have ran that entire thing, trying to find that entire bite. Hundreds of guys have done that too. And to actually figure it out requires skill, knowledge, and understanding of putting a lot of the pieces of puzzle together on where they are on that bottom composition, how they're set up, what you're targeting. I mean, you watch a lot of guys in the Elite Series that have tried it. You watch guys in the Opens that have tried it. They come in with 2 for 4 or 3 for 6 or 1 for 8, like that. Like it's real easy to say, oh, he scoped him on a minnow in a canal. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Get in a damn boat with the minnows. Hell, I'll give you a pack of Sakamatas and a 3-5 Horizon head. I'll give you the unless you've spent so much time doing it and you know exactly what you're doing and you have the confidence in it. It's not easy. It is not a find fish, cast fish, catch fish. It is a tactic. I loved watching it, but I also knew what I was watching. And I think lack of education in what you're watching is hard for some people to translate. Like, to me, it seems easy to drive a car around a track. Then you go to a NASCAR track and you look at it and you're like, my God, this isn't flat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to start this car. And they make it look going 200 miles an hour that far apart from each other. Like, any, AARP card carrying member can get out there in their sedan and do it. And then you put your eyes on it and you actually do it. It's damn impossible.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
that high level, at that doing it.
Mm-hmm. That's a great analogy right there. Yeah. It's one of those things once you get thrown into it and it's like, okay, take a step back. It's like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, it's one of those, you have to be, especially at a place like Okeechobee, you have to be so dialed in. You go to, let's just say Clarks Hill is a great example. You start throwing at dots, okay, they're 80% bass. You go to Okeechobee, you throw at 100 fish, 2 of them might have been a bass. So
yeah, but you also go to Clarks Hill. I mean, I went there this past year. It's real easy to get to 11 pounds. It's real hard to get to 17.
Yeah,
and you're like, damn, there's like 5 or 6 guys on these lakes that, I mean, they don't miss, like a Paul Marks and Emil Wagner, that type of stuff. And you're like, what kind of voodoo are these guys doing on these big ones where, I'm going through little spotted bass like it's my job, and they're just, it's cool to watch. It really is. So congratulations, dude. I know you probably have a crazy busy schedule. And I can't thank you enough. I asked you to jump on BTL, and I have a feeling I might have you on here in the future again too. Who knows? Does it seem more realistic, more possible now that it's been done and that you've done it? Like, it's just like when you think about it in your head, are you like, yeah, I could win an Elite Series?
Yeah, this was a confidence booster for sure. Yeah, this was like, okay, maybe I can, so yeah, it's one of those things that's definitely going to be it's a jump start in me. And so, yeah.
Anything else?
I think we've covered it.
Thanks, Caleb.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
All right. Oh, that's me. Now I got to go back to that. Go like that. See ya. All right. We're going to take a final break of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of Crappie Talk Live, wrap things a little bit up, and then talk about what we have going on for the rest of the week. It's BTL on Wednesday. We'll be back.
As a professional angler, there's only one thing that connects you to your paycheck. Probably the most crucial part to tournament bass fishing. I use Sunline because they have a line for every application. Shooter, FX2, All Might, super light line, big stuff, big sticks. Sunline has you covered.
Sharp as can be. Super strong, super durable.
Really good penetration.
Thinner and stronger.
Catch fish after fish.
I want to make sure that I'm using the best stuff possible.
World's finest hook.
World's finest hook.
Gamakatsu. World's finest hook.
I fish in some of the worst elements across the country. Spring, that's a giant, dude. Summer, oh my gosh. Hi, look at that thing. Winter, it's so cold. And fall. Got a big one, that's awesome.
Being comfortable and staying dry is the only option.
AFCO, any fish, any water.
All right, wrapping things up here on BTL. I think Zeke might be at the house already. We're going to head out and do episode 3 of CTL. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, I dropped episode 2, which is just a video. It is not like the talking about how it is. This is called Hunting Easter Eggs, Giant Early Winter Crappie. It's dedicated more towards the bass guys. If you are looking to kind of get your electronics game dialed in, this is an awesome thing to do if you're in the part of the country where these things float, and a passion project. So would love, feel free to go check it out. I'll do we'll do a little share screen right here of it. But like, there's some really cool moments that go down here. We kind of walk through everything on how it goes down. And then one of the things that I've gotten really interested in is watching these suckers on live scope. It's only like roamed out 30 feet. You can see there. And we kind of walk through step by step on how you can do this around your fishery. Boom, big giant rod like that. But this was absolutely disgusting. This was a absolute giant fish that we had in the last one. 15-foot rod behind the back. You can see it on the scope. Here it comes. Here it comes. He got it. Look at the size of this one. This was between like a 280, so a 2 3/4 pound and a 3 1/4 pound crappie. And it pulled off. But we walked through the whole setup, the rods, all that stuff. It's just a big giant crappie. I don't know who wouldn't like doing that. I guess guys, you don't crappie fish. So, all right, we will be back live with another Frank Scalish show tomorrow. And then if you don't subscribe or follow BTL on YouTube, you need to do that and then set your notifications. When Austin gets back from the beach, he's going to be in studio, kind of talking about his journey from Bass Nation, Oklahoma Bass Nation 5 years ago, through the Opens to the EQs to the Bassmaster Elite Series. Also, voting is open for the Best on Tour awards. BTL is up for the Best Podcast. I will talk about this through the 24th because this is when it goes, and I would really like to win the Best Podcast award. So a plea to the BTL listeners and viewers. You can only vote one time. You can have your significant other vote, your friends, your family, whoever, to vote for BTL for the Best Podcast. I'm up against two formidable opponents. The capital THE Dave Mercer and his show Mercer, and BTC Ken Duke, the guys over at Bass After Dark. The other three, when they took all of them, compiled them down, those were the top 3 vote getters. So bestontour.net, and click on the Best on Tour awards in the top corner. You can vote for as many categories. There's all sorts of different cool categories, and then you vote for as many or as few as you want. But big shout out to Caleb Hudson. Busy time in that young man's life. Seems like he's got his head on straight, got a lot of good mentors in his corner, knows his way around the ropes, already in the industry. I mean, he checks a lot of boxes of things that a lot of guys already struggle with in their first year on the Elite Series. So look for big things coming from him, and we will talk to everybody tomorrow. See ya.